Oh, look at that. That's so cool. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to another class in Coliving Cashflow. My name is Clara Arroyave, and today we're going to talk about why Coliving works in New Hampshire. Let me see if this works for you. Can you see my screen now? Yes, no. I hope you do. Can you see my screen now? Okay, so let's begin, shall we? I've been 10 years in Coliving. Can I have in the, yes, perfect. I've been 10 years in co-living and I have seen the rise in co-living all across the country. And as more as not only the unit economics of the country continue, also the need for more affordable housing continue. And today I'm going to talk about why this works in New Hampshire. It's very simple. And before we start anything, I want to remind you that what are the three C's of co-living. If you want to have a successful co-living product, please always remember that co-living any co-living product needs to have a balance between cost, between community, and between convenience. Cost for you as the investor, as operator, and cost for your residents. Community, so your residents stay longer and have a sense of belonging. And convenience, meaning in the design of the product between location and amenities, so the stay also is longer for you, or the tenure of the residence is longer. Once you have a really good balance in these products, everything else just falls into place, financially speaking. This is a crazy statistic, and I was just looking at the census, at the U.S. Census, and 26 of the top 30 jobs in New Hampshire cannot afford a full two-bedroom apartment. We're looking at more about 200,000 people that make minimum wage or even more than minimum wage, and the median rent for a two-bedroom apartment is around $2,200. So they really just don't qualify based on the money they make to rent a whole two-bedroom apartment by themselves. That's insane. And who are we talking about? Uh, we're not talking about people that doesn't have a full-time job. We're talking about people that work in offices, people that work in retail, registered nurses, even people that work in the food service industry, and even truck drivers. They are not able to qualify for a two-bedroom apartment, which that gives you pretty much who is going to be your initial clients here in Coliving. So that means when you look at it, that means that they need to work almost 200 hours per week to afford a two-bedroom apartment or change their living situation. And that's a large amount of people priced out of traditional rentals. Based on in the New Hampshire statistics, they have a lack of 60,000 units that are needed by 2030, so in the next 5 years. Do you think it's going to happen? Most likely it's not going to happen to create these 60,000 units of housing. Hence, the opportunity with co-living to really support this population, to really support support the problem and address the problem. And I'm going to just give you more only than the basics. I'm going to give you all the juice here that you need to make a sensible operation, or basic operation. In terms of pricing, residents in New Hampshire are going to be comfortable paying between $850 and $900 per unit, per room. And based on what they are renting now, you're going to help saving for them around $900 compared to regular rentals. So that is great for them, but also it's great for you. And for operators, they can make from 50% to 125% more compared to traditional rentals in New Hampshire. But why is this interesting for you, and why the attention in New Hampshire now, right? So before we go to that, why co-living beats traditional rental? When you go to a four-bedroom apartment, in New Hampshire, we're talking about $2,500 or a 6.5% cap rate. Once you start leasing by the room between 4, 5, even more, we see the cap rates go from to 800, 925, 950, and even when you go through a whole multifamily, you see cap rates going from 8%, 9%, 10%, by using the co-living method. So you get premiums on your regular rental from like 20% to 80%. So it's phenomenal, but also you are helping this community. We're talking about a population of 200,000 people with accessible housing. So the metric of over 8% cap rate works really well. Something important. So if you're getting started in New Hampshire, have these metrics in mind. Always find multifamilies, ideally with 9 bedrooms or more, one common area, one bathroom per 4 people maximum. Maximum. That's the rule of thumb, but if it's 3, that would be my recommendation. Ideally, walk to public transportation 1 mile or less, because we all know the winters in all the winters in New Hampshire. And when you do the furniture for your properties, always do full-size beds. Don't do twin beds, don't do king beds, only full-size beds. Those are the recommended in co-living. And as I said to everybody, design with the product, design your co-living product, but having in mind the customer you want to have, right? And in terms of parking, 1 parking spot per 2 rooms is the rule of thumb also for pass-through operators as well. But always design your property with the co-living resident that you want to have in mind. But why this is like phenomenal and really important and really interesting for everybody that wants to go into New Hampshire now. And it's about that co-living is allowed in New Hampshire. We're talking about the law. The law is called HB 457, Chapter 118. You can go and look it up. And that allows more than the regular number that we have of unrelated people living together in any apartment. So there is no municipality in New Hampshire that can restrict occupancy for less than 2 people in bedroom and prohibit the zoning for occupancy-based relationships, employment or student status, meaning you can have nurses, undergraduate students, and everybody else at the same time in your same property, which help you with occupancy as an operator. So that really is a great rule. What we see is that this is a new rule just started in July. I heard that I heard that it's not easy and has not been an easy adoption so far. I believe so. It continue growing, and laws like this will continue coming across the country, right? Because the demand is higher than the supply, and the unit economics in the country are just not going to change for the better anytime soon. So what does that mean for you particularly? So the bar in occupancy is 2 people per bedroom. No one can go lower in New Hampshire, so that is fantastic. You can do mixed tenants groups. You can do your numbers with more confidence without fear of being approved by the city or by the town. And it's also phenomenal for your investors and for your lenders and for insurance company, because they will insure the product and your investors will have the certainty that you're going to do well based on this law. And of course, based in our target demand occupancy numbers, but you'll do well just know having that you won't have to deal with local restrictions. And now the important part. I'm going to give you the zip codes that I recommend you to go first. That is super important. So going back to give you clarity, protect revenue, and allow you to move fierce and fast. So what are the 5 zip codes that I recommend you going in New Hampshire? If we were to start right now, this is what I would say. Number 1, go to Manchester. Manchester, New Hampshire has 41% of renters. Why? They have a lot of universities, a lot of medical centers, and a lot of startups and technology company going there. So Manchester West, I'll do first, right? The age of 25, 40 years old is like everybody that lives there in this particular zip code in Manchester, New Hampshire. The price for a multifamily is around 629, so that's a good number, and a lot of multifamilies available in this zip code. The second one will be absolutely downtown Manchester, very, very walkable area. The University of New Hampshire is right there, very transit accessible, and really not only young professional base, but really accessible in terms of pricing. Number 3, I will go to Nashua. Why? Because it's a commute to Massachusetts, a lot of healthcare and tech as well, and lower entry costs compared to Massachusetts. Number three, the other side of Manchester, a lot of single adults, a lot of workers, very close to Elliot Hospital, and a lot of place to uplift properties over there. And last but not least, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. They already have a co-living zoning product, a co-living product built in there that is on progress. I like to explore that product maybe later on. Uh, but it's also the entry price for rents in Portsmouth is way, way higher. So you have a lot of opportunity to get started, and now I'm going to show you how. Yeah, no, sorry, wrong side. There we go. I went just to, regular MLS, regular Zillow, and found two buildings that it seemed to be working really well for co-living. If I were a buyer or an investor, I'll just go and find something like this, or very similar to this. So you're welcome. I will find three-family triplex. And based on my underwriting, you can get about 10% cap and 20% cash on cash on these numbers. Doing what? If you do 8 rooms, right now it says 8 bedrooms. If you do 8 rooms at 925, right? The traditional rental will be total like around 5,000, but if you do 8 rooms at 925, you get a monthly revenue of 7,400, so annual gross of 88, net income of 60%, so cap 99. But if you do either one more room or the rooms at 975, based on how you create your product, you have a monthly revenue of 78, gross 93, and 10% cap rate, which is absolutely phenomenal, right? And you can achieve these numbers with 20% down, right? And you'll have an annual cash flow just in this unit of $25,000 after everything else is said and done. This is a basic underwriting. It's not too deep, because for that you have to come to my class. All right, and second one. So no, I'm not giving you one, but I'm giving you two. Second one, this is a 9-bedroom in Manchester. Look at this, beautiful, 2,800 square feet, plus 5 garages. That can be extra income, so phenomenal. If you do by the room, 925, right? Traditional rental will be 256. If you do 925, right? You have a cap rate of 10%, so 9 rooms at 925. If you do 9 rooms at 950, you do 8,500 of rent, annual gross of $100,000, and cap rate of 10%. I'm doing all this basic math with 20% down and a loan amount of 500,000, debt service of 400. So that really gives me I missed this place in here. Over 10% cap rate and a cash on cash of 20%. So it is it's not that complicated when you start doing the math, right? And when you're ready to get started, just give me a call. So when you look at this, when you look at these two opportunities, there you go. This is the NOI on the other one. The cash on one is 20.9, so 28,000 with pretty much doing nothing in this unit. So that's phenomenal. And that will give you a very strong portfolio. So when you add these two, 25 and 28, with just two properties, you can have a $50,000, if everything is stabilized and all that, you can have a $50,000 income with two properties or a down payment of 250,000 with a down payment of 250,000, you can get a $50,000 passive income. So isn't that cool? I think that's phenomenal. I'm here to help. My name is Clara Arroyave, and if you want to create a strategy to moving forward on this, to create your co-living portfolio in New Hampshire, book a strategy call. My name is, my website is right below. And thank you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here with us. I'm honored that